Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review My Policeman. And this is a brand new drama from director Michael Grandridge and focuses on a young gay man who falls in love with a policeman who has a wife, and things are complicated, and in modern times our young man is now a sick older gentleman who gets brought in by the wife, who then sits and reads his journals, which then tell us the whole entire story of their past. Yeah, it's an interesting use of frame narrative here, as basically we have the wife of the closeted gay policeman who's reading the journal of her husband's former lover, sitting there looking like, ooh, at all the stuff that she's reading, and it's like, it's unfortunate because there's a couple moments that feel a little unexpectedly funny and probably not purposefully funny as she's sitting there reading these things. So like those kind of elements don't work, and there's a couple of things about this film that doesn't work. There's a couple of moments, it's like some of the reactionary shots feel awkward, and like the audience that I was watching this with was laughing during them when I don't think they were supposed to. And I think the biggest thing that doesn't work about this is Harry Styles. And Harry Styles plays Tom, this policeman, who just every time he reads a line of dialogue, it just feels flat. And like it doesn't feel like it's genuine, which is a real shame because when you see Tom older, played by Linus Roach, who's from like Batman Begins and Mandy, he's great. He does some great work in the small bits that we actually get to see him in the film. Now, David Dawson, who plays Patrick, the young gay man who falls in love with this police officer, he's great. He is somebody we can hook on to. He's really the main character of the story in many ways, and we follow him and his struggle with like being in love with this man and being willing to share him, except his wife, Marion, played by Emma Corrin when they're younger, is not into that. And basically this film is really a story of tragedy and forbidden love, and everybody does not great stuff in it. Like, straight up Tom, he's not a great dude. Honestly, there's a couple of times where he interacts with his wife that are really messed up, trying to gaslight her into convincing her like he's not gay, and the wife does some not great things too throughout the film. And even I feel like Patrick is purposefully trying to go out of his way sometimes to like throw it out into public and putting himself in a tough spot. And you know, this film is brutal at times. It shows some really bad beatings. It talks about people being beat to death for being gay at this time, and takes place like the framed narrative is modern time, and with 40 years in the past is when this relationship was going on. And it's the kind of story that has a lot of emotion to it because of the subject matter, but it doesn't really add much to it besides that. It hits the beats that you expect it to, and up until the very end, like the ending moments of this film are extremely moving. And there's a dialogueless interaction that happens at the very end of the film. It's having people weeping in the middle of the theater that I was watching this in. It really is moving, and honestly, that does a great job of like just hammering home this film and kind of elevated it for me. But in general, this is a very by-the-numbers experience for this kind of story. It is gorgeous, though. This is a gorgeously shot film from Ben Davis and then composer Stephen Price. The score is beautiful and haunting and just captures the emotion and the feelings in it, and it really works. But in the end, this is a decently forgettable by-the-numbers treatment of what could have been a really impactful story. Even though, like, the story still is really impactful, its execution was not the strongest. But those are my thoughts on My Policeman. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.